Feel really, really good, man. I'm very excited. I've trained my whole life for this, and ain't nothing left to it but to do it.
Without any disrespect, I think Jon's probably the favourite heading into this fight. He's been dominant champion. For you, do you take a silver lining in that thinking, well, no one really expects me to win, so I can just go out there and do it, all the pressure's on him?
Well, I mean, that's the case anyway, whether the odds said it or not. He's champion. It's his belt to lose. It's mine to gain. I get to be free, you know. I really got nothing to lose. I'm undefeated. I'm fighting Jon Jones, arguably the greatest of all time. I go out there, I put my entire heart in my sleeve, I fight with everything I have, and worst case scenario, I don't come out on top. But I lost to Jon Jones.
How much do you take out of his last few performances, which people have said are a bit underwhelming, like against Santos, against Anthony Smith? How much do you look at that and go, well, that's the Jon Jones I'm going to fight. I don't have to worry about the one who beat Rampage and stuff like that.
Honestly, man, I expect to get the best version of Jon we've seen in a minute. Everybody I've fought, I get the best version of them. I'm a guy that Jon definitely doesn't want to take lightly, and he knows that. You know, he's a smart competitor. He knows I'm not a guy you want to take lightly at all. And I'm sure he's training much harder, or not, you know, but I think I'm going to get a really good version of Jon. I'm training for the best version of Jon.
He, earlier this week on social media, he put up a thing about how he's brought all these new recovery machines and how these young whippersnappers are coming up and he's the older guy. He's not that old. Do you think Jon needs to put these narratives into his own head to make himself more of an underdog?
In a sense, I feel like in order to stay on top for that long, you have to kind of do a little bit of look at things a little different from time to time to motivate yourself a little more. So that could possibly be it. But I mean, I bought all those machines as well, so it's the same thing.
Dominick, have you allowed yourself to kind of think about the significance of what beating Jon Jones would mean? Because I mean, winning the title is amazing, but there are a lot of champions, and there have been a lot of champions, but there's only one person that's going to knock off Jon Jones and end this incredible streak that he's on. Like the last one that we saw in the sport was kind of like Fedor and Verdun, beat him, and everyone remembers Verdun. So it's kind of a chance for you to kind of go down in the record books no matter what. Not to put too much pressure, but have you thought about that at all?
Not really. For me, it's the opposite. I win the belt, I'm in the record books forever. Period. I beat Jon. It's a cherry on top. Now it's like it's creeping into like legendary status. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the ice. That's just a nice little cherry on top for me. For me, winning the belt is everything. You know, having that gold wrapped around your shoulder it's got that nice weight to it. You know.
When before the fight was booked, some of his messaging on social media was interesting. He was saying things like, "Oh, I'm bored. You know, I want a new challenge." And then it seemed like he almost kind of perked up when you started to talk trash to him on Twitter. Was that like part of your strategy? And what do you think about his mindset as far as like, do you think he's bored? Do you think that was true?
I don't know what the guy's thinking, man. I only know what I'm thinking. And yeah, he was stating that he wanted, somebody to get him excited about the fight. So okay, I'll oblige. Said a little bit of trash talk, whatever I got to do to get my shot. I got my shot. But I'm here to fight, It's not about the trash talk. I mean, I'm not the best trash talker in the world. I mean, we know this. I'm a competitor. I was raised in the world of sportsmanship, team sports, being a good sport, act like you've been here before, work hard. You don't have to say something, show them. You don't have to talk all this crazy talk, show them what you got. And that's who I am and what I'm about. This whole trash talk for me is kind of new to me, but it's not really trash talk for me. It's just me responding to things he's saying. It's like, I'm not going to just let you say whatever you want about me or to me. I'm a man. I'm not going to just accept this. But that's where I am with that. I got my shot, so I'm here to make the most of it.
You seem to hold your own in that press conference with him in Vegas.
Yeah, I wasn't intimidated at all. It was interesting in the face-off. That's the first time I ever met Jon in my life. Ever came face to him or even near him. And we were face to face, and my heart rate didn't raise at all. I felt at home. I was like, this is it. This is Jon Jones. The lure of Jon Jones is a lot bigger than he actually is.
Do you think that's why other people have lost to him, that they've been sort of overwhelmed by the idea of Jon more so than the athlete?
I do. I absolutely do think that. It's easy to fall into that. You know, there's every single person is trying to tell you that. Oh my God, you're fighting Jon Jones. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna fight. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm great at. I'm gonna do what I love doing, and that's just what I'm gonna do. People think it's a lot more. It's still a fight. It's just a fight. But everybody's like, it's Jon Jones. He's 6'9". His wingspan's 7 foot. It is, you know. But it's just, man.
And yet people say, though, after the fact, after losing to him, they're like, yeah, it was different. And I did feel different in there. And once you let him start to dictate where it's going, you can see you're going to lose, right? So what have you learned by watching other people try and fail?
Fight your fight. Don't let him fight your fight for you. Don't let him get in your mind. Don't let him say, oh, we're going to go easy, man. We're going to start off easy, blah, blah, blah. And then he just changes up the tempo and starts doing this, starts doing that. And he lulls people into a false sense of security, I believe. In all his fights, he starts pretty slow on purpose. You know, the first round, he kind of feels them out and lulls you into this is what Jon Jones is. And then he changes the speed, he changes the fight. And he controls the center of the octagon. I mean, there's so many things that he does that are small nuances to the game. And I see him, you know, I'm ready.
You said it wasn't what you expected when you faced off with him. So what were your expectations? Do you think, like,
that Jon Jones, like, oh my God, it's Jon Jones, like, I thought he was gonna be glowing or some shit. Like, like, I don't know, man. Like, my whole life I grew up watching this guy and exuding all this different kinds of energies. And when I saw him in person and when I faced off and I was this far away from him, I was like, this guy's just a man with very many insecurities. You see it all over him.
What kind of insecurities?
You don't want to lose, man. His ego drives this guy. I'm driven by love and passion, man. A lot different there.
Do you think you have to beat him twice? Because I imagine if you beat him, they're probably going to give him a rematch before he even leaves the cage.
I hope to fight him twice. Second time, I'll be champ. So, good for me.
Dominick, you talked about, you know, for a long time, football was your focus. And, you know, he's been champion now, you know, roughly a decade. Do you remember the first time that you heard about Jon Jones?
First time I saw Jon Jones, I think he fought Hua the first time. And I was like, dang, that guy's pretty good.
He obviously, you know, a big name. He comes from a big team in Albuquerque, but you've been a big proponent. You have everything you need and could want in Victorville. Can you just talk a little bit more about, you know, the benefits for you coming from just a small team in your town?
It's family, man. It's love. It's everybody's looking out for my growth and for my advancement. They want me to be. Everybody in my camp, everybody on my team wants me to be the best version of myself, and they're willing to do whatever it takes. They're willing to sacrifice their bodies. They're willing to get black eyes. They're willing to. I got black eyes, but they're willing to get bloody noses and get hurt for my advancement, for my dream. You know, and not everywhere you go, you'll have selfish people like that on your team. You know, you'll go to a camp or something, and guys are growing on their own. You know, everybody has their own career that they're doing, and they're trying to be the best version of themselves as well. I have guys that are being Jon for me for months, you know, and putting their own careers on hold in order to help me reach my dream. And you don't get that everywhere, you know. And at the same time, you know, I got my family there. You know, I got my parents, I got my brothers. So, I mean, it's all love, man. My environment is completely like just love, man. And you don't get that everywhere.
Now, you know, Victorville, San Bernardino County, close to the Inland Empire, there's actually quite a few names: Tatiana Suarez, Lawrence Larkin. This is obviously the biggest fight for any of you guys coming from the area. Do you feel like this one puts the place on the map in terms of MMA?
Yes and no, man. We're going to be on the map no matter what. We go out there and we compete and we win and we do well. But this is definitely the biggest fight for our area, and I'm definitely very proud to represent it. And yeah.
We'll see.
You know, when Kane was champ, there was a lot of talk about having a Latino champ and what he meant to the community. I'm not sure how much of a part of that you are, how much you feel like you're carrying, you know, the mantle for your people, if that's a big thing. But if it is, could you maybe let us know how you feel?
Oh, it means a lot. You know, it's my blood. It's where I come from. You know, my dad came from Mexico when he was 12 years old, and it means a lot to him. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to, you know, everybody in my community. To have somebody you could get behind, you know, that shares the same blood, it means a lot, and it makes me very proud to be from there. It's that tough, that hardworking. It's hard work and just toughness, you know. And man, it means so much to so many different people in my life, and I want to make everybody proud. But at the end of the day, this is my journey, and I got to do this for me. I'm doing this for me, and so yeah.
Para la raza, para
Everyone,
everybody, right? But so when we talk,
my university, my hometown, the state of California, Southern California, like all my friends throughout the world, you know, everybody who supports me. I mean, there's so many people that I'm doing this for, but nobody's gonna be in there with me.
but with that said, you know, we always talk about that great Mexican fighting spirit, and there is a lot of expectation on you to fight a certain way, to throw down, to, you know.
I'm willing to give as much blood as necessary. I'm willing to tear whatever needs to be torn. I'm doing whatever it takes to get that gold. I'm willing to die in there, man. I'm literally willing to die in there. And that's what it's all about. Putting your entire heart on your sleeve. Fighting till you cannot fight anymore. Till there's nothing left. That's it. This is it. This is my once in a lifetime opportunity. Whether it's once in a lifetime or not, this is my once in a lifetime. And I'm gonna do everything I can. And I will give whatever it takes.
Would this be the biggest athletic achievement for anyone from Stonebrook?
I think Joe Nathan won World Series. Yeah. But this is definitely bigger.
Yeah. Well, this is an individual.
Yeah. And this is winning the World Light Heavyweight Championship against arguably the greatest of all time. So I think it would be the biggest. Not taking away anything from Joe, but this is huge.
Have you got anything from those guys back in?
Yeah.
Seawolves back there.
The Seawolves are showing love these days, and I'm excited about that. I mean, I love my university.
So an interview you did earlier this week, I think, about Jones and his eye pokes, and there's been a lot of stuff about eye pokes recently. Stipe having vision issues. It's a big deal. To be keeping him out indefinitely for his career. Is that a legitimate worry that you have with Jon?
I mean, it's an issue in the sport these days. Eye pokes are not cool, man. They're not, and it's really easy to not eye poke. Just keep your hands closed. We're fighting with fists. We're not fighting with fingers. I mean, if you watch my fights, I rarely open my hands. I keep fists most of my fight. It's eye pokes, man. Jon is notorious for eye pokes. It's something that I am worried about. Not because I'm worried about getting eye poked. I mean, obviously, getting eye poked sucked. You know, I don't want to lose vision for the rest of my life. I don't want to be blind. You know, that's not something I want. But more than that, eye pokes and fingers extended stops you from advancing. It does. Like, if you're gonna come at me and you see fingers in your eye, are you gonna run out those fingers? No, you're not. You're gonna move forward and be like, oh, there's something there that's gonna stop me. If he does it, I'm probably still gonna run into it anyway because I don't care. But it's a serious. It's in MMA. It's something that we need to start taking more seriously. When guys get eye poked, it does affect the fight, and we're not taking points. You know, we're just like we're giving warnings. There's actually legitimate. I've heard legitimate conversations of camps saying, "Listen, man, you get one. You get one. Like if it's not going your way, you get one. Like we're accepting a culture of cheating. You know, we're accepting bending of the rules. Like I know the refs and the judges. I mean, the refs don't want to be the ones to like have a great ref. You never have to see him. He never has to say anything. You know, but when it's actually affecting fights and lives like this, man, like we gotta do something about it, man. These points need to start be taken. Like this whole "you get one" culture needs to stop. You know? We gotta do something about this.
Do you think when he does it's intentional?
I don't know, man. I can't speak on that, but
a lot of your fights finished really quickly, which doesn't give people a chance to get tape on you. And that's kind of what Jon did at the beginning, which was really hard to beat him. You didn't know how to beat him. The fight with Volkan was close, and a lot of people thought Volkan won that one. What do you take away from that fight, and do you think like maybe that's the one where people can learn how to fight you?
That was my worst performance of my career.
Okay.
If you want to take that, that's cool. I mean, take it. But I've completely evolved as a fighter. I switched camps for that fight. I went to Colorado for that whole camp, and things didn't exactly go my way. But I learned that I could fight through adversity. I mean, he broke my nose in the first round in 4 different places with one punch. Like, I was inhaling blood the whole fight. So my cardio went, but my heart didn't. I have heart. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight, man. I learned a lot about myself in terms of my toughness. I'd gone pretty much my entire career up to that point without being hit.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Good for you.
Like, I made it to the UFC, and I was fighting Volkan Oezdemir, and I hadn't really been hit up to that point. And I always had a question in the back of my mind, like, can I take a punch? Like, I don't know if I could take a punch. Can I take a punch? And that fight answered those questions for me. I could definitely take a punch. And that made me like, all right, I could be champion. Because in order to be champion, you have to be able to take a punch. You're not going to fight a championship fight and not get hit. So that made me realize, I can be champion. I have the skills, I have the speed, I have the power, I have the movement, I have the IQ. I enjoy it, I love it, but can I take a punch? And I definitely can take a punch, and I'm ready to take this championship, man.
Dom, I know you're a Laker fan, you're a Southern California kid. Do you have any thoughts that you want to share about what happened this past weekend?
Tragic, man. It was absolutely heartbreaking for me and for most of the world. Prayers go out to Kobe and his late wife. I mean his wife Vanessa, and man, I can't imagine what she's going through. Losing a daughter and a husband in one swoop. Man, just prayers, man. Just prayers.
Big idol you're growing up?
He's the only idol I've ever had as an athlete. Like, I've never looked up to any other athlete but Kobe Bryant. Kobe's mentality of nobody's gonna believe in you but you. Like I use that throughout my life. Like, I made it to my university. I'm here on that philosophy of nobody's gonna believe in you but you. Nobody's gonna work for you. Like, work when the lights are off. Work when nobody's looking. That's when it matters. That's what makes you a champion. Like, winning is everything. Oh man, all of that is a huge part of why I'm here today. Like, Jon brought up the Tim Grover book, Relentless. I read that book because it was mostly about Kobe, and his mindset and everything that goes into the hard work involved. Man, and that all of that, man. I know he's looking out on this one. I know it.
At what point did mixed martial arts enter your life? Because as a Mexican-American kid in Southern California, I imagine boxing was big, and also you're tall, you like basketball, so I imagine you're on the basketball team. But at what point did mixed martial arts come into your life?
Fun fact, I never boxed and I never played basketball. I wrestled. I wrestled my whole life from 8 years old. Actually, when I first started wrestling, I was terrible. I lost almost every match. And I just didn't have that fire, that I had brothers and all that, but I just didn't, I don't know. And then I got in junior high school and I never lost a match. After that, it clicked, everything clicked. And I fell in love with the sport, and I was really good. And yeah, but mixed martial arts entered my life when I was a young kid.
Dom, where were you on Sunday when you found out about the Kobe news?
I just woken up. I was reading the news, went on Instagram, and somebody posted about it. I looked it up, and I was like, I couldn't believe it, really. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was like a spoof or something. How weird stuff gets thrown out on the internet.
Photoshop.
Yeah, and I was like, no way. and then I kind of kept reading into it, and then it was 100%. I was at home. Sunday is my rest day, and yeah, man, I pretty much stayed like in bed most of the day. Like, I didn't really get up much. I ate. I had to eat, you know. And, yeah. Called my friends, called my family, talked to people about it. I needed to talk to someone about it. You know, it really was like almost losing a family member. And like, I don't know, man. It sucks. It fucking sucks. But everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. And I don't know. I think maybe I don't know, man. I got nothing on it.
Did you go to a lot of games at Staples?
I never went to any games, man. We could never afford it. Like, my family wasn't the wealthiest, and we have 4 boys. It's hard to get to Laker games, especially during the Kobe era of very expensive tickets. But I watched almost every game he played, and it wasn't really about the games he played. It was about the man he was more than anything. I mean, he was amazing. His last game, really, so many moments. I could go on all day about this. But Kobe's a man. He's a man. It's that simple. I would always get the Jordan Kobe debate was very common in my university. I would go aggressively, very aggressive. Yeah.
A lot of athletes have kind of done their own honor and homage to Kobe over the last week. Anything planned for next week in Houston to rep SoCal?
I mean, I'd like to wear his jersey throughout the week, but I don't know if Reebok would be very excited about that. So definitely win this belt. He's definitely in my heart, definitely in my mind.
You think 49ers or the Chiefs?
See, that's the question now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with the Niners, just because I'm a defensive guy myself.
Yeah.
And their defense is something. When you're clicking like that on defense and you're just attacking, you're just a bunch of wild animals. It's just like, that brings the whole team up. That is so contagious.
Yeah.
And when the offense knows they have a bunch of dogs that are just hungry and rabies and going crazy, man, it gets me excited, man. It reminds me of my old squad. You know, we were a very good defense, and you can see the love they have for each other. And I'm gonna have to go with the Niners.
Mahomes is no joke, though.
No, I'm not debating that at all. Mahomes is a freaking animal. It's unbelievable how composed that kid is. I mean, and then Tyreek and the whole offense, and you let those guys get a little spark, and they're creating a bushfire, man. It's not good.
You know, it's interesting though. Obviously, if you become the champion, like you're going to be rubbing shoulders with these guys. Those are your peers in a way now, right? Winners and ring holders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, have you really considered how? I mean, they always say that your life will change, right? Like, do you really understand how much it could?
I understand it. I do, but I don't like to look at things that haven't happened yet. You know, I could kind of a little bit mentally prepare for it, but in my mind, being a champion isn't just winning one fight. You know, you're a champion by who you are, your character, and how you live your life and what you do. It's not just an overnight kind of thing. So, yeah, things will change overnight if I beat Jon, in the sense of, you know, who I'm rubbing shoulders with, in a sense. But I still got my family, I still got my friends, I still live in my hometown, so it's not like I'm going to be living in LA all of a sudden. I'm hanging out at the Comedy Store every night, which would be cool, but but it's just, yeah. We're all professional athletes. We will, if we have something in common, I'm sure we'll eventually come into contact, whether or not I become champion. I don't know.
So no skeletons in the closet though that you want to just get off your chest now, because you know your whole life goes on display once you become champ, and everything in and out of the octagon becomes fodder for.
Let me think. I got nothing on it.
It's good.
Dominick, at what point in your training or your actual performance in the cage did you go, I'm ready to face Jon Jones? Like, I'm good enough now. Because at the beginning of your career, you did early interviews, you're like, hey, slow down.
Yeah.
I'm still getting
Absolutely.
there. But at what point did you go, okay, I'm ready?
Well, obviously this last fight, I mean, knocking out Chris Weidman in a minute is no easy feat. That, you know, I don't think anybody's ever beat Weidman in the first round. I think dealing with that whole fight week, and then once I was backstage and I was completely like relaxed, and I was watching the fights, I was like, man, I want to get a scrap tonight. Like, Greg Hardy was in there, and I was like, I just want to throw down, bro. Like, I kind of want to get hit. And he's like, yeah, bro, me too. And like, we both like started getting pumped. I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be dope. And then it was just like, I was just chilling. And then the warm up was great. And then on the walk, like, I just felt so at peace, so that like, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, I felt like everything was aligning, perfectly aligning for me. And after that fight, it just seemed like this is the next step. Like, I'm ready. I'm in the cage. I recognize everybody on the outside. Me and Bruce are like friends now. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's no longer that, oh my God, I'm in the UFC. Like, look at, you know, there's Joe Rogan. And you're like, when you first get in, you're like kind of starstruck by the whole experience. Now it's like, these are all my homies. Like, let's get it. Like, it's really cool. It's really cool. Like, I just feel like I'm ready, man. Everything's kind of aligned in my life it just makes sense.
Well, plus everybody said it about you. This man is going to be a champion. So how much does that bear on you, knowing everybody expects it? And
I mean, not really, because people are gonna say, like, not to be. I respect what they say and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's like after every fight, this guy's the next great fighter. No matter what fight card it is, it's like, oh, this guy though. Well, this guy, and then like all of a sudden 4 months later, you're on the bottom of the queue, and then you're not even being talked about. Like, look what happened with the Walker Corey Anderson thing. Like, I didn't fight for a little bit, and all of a sudden, people don't even know I exist. Like, who the heck is Dominick Reyes? Like,
Yeah.
what? So that's just kind of how it is, you know. I understand the fickle nature of this sport and the fans, really. But this, they're not gonna forget my name after this. That's for sure.
Dominick, were you always tall, or did you hit a growth spurt all of a sudden?
So when I was 11 years old, I was 6'2".
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
What did your mom feed you?
Man, those Costco trips were not a good fun time for them. 4 boys, we're all pretty big. Yeah, they used to call it the $500 club.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So you were in like what, 6th grade, and you're taller than your teachers, right?
Yeah, but I was like, just like that.
Oh my God, skinny.
Just like a stick.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always been tall. And it's surprising because I like maintained my athleticism. Like, I got really tall and I was still athletic. It was really weird. Like, I wasn't like goofy, like, like, I've always been athletic, which is, it's very encouraging.
Hey, are you trying to one up Jorge Masvidal with a mezcal? Is that a mezcal brand?
Zignum. Nah, we're on the same team, man.
Oh, is that part of the same company?
Yeah, same company.
You holding or?
I ain't got nothing on. I'm fighting soon.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
after,
After.
it's another story.